Okay. Hi, Sue. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Um, you've made it through to 6 weeks of the program and just wanted to see how you're getting on. So we'll start off with, can you remember how me and yourself first connected?
So I reached out to you. I can't even remember how long ago it was now, but I was looking for a personal trainer, and I had seen you doing boot camp up at Goddington. So I gave you a call, and we started personal trainer sessions, and then I bravely started coming up to doing boot camp too.
Yep, that's brilliant. Um, and then with regards to the program, when we had a discussion about the program on the first impressions, what stood out to you about the program initially?
I think it was different to anything that I'd done before. Um, in terms of weight loss, obviously I've tried everything under the sun over the years, but this was much more about, I think, linking my fitness with losing weight, not calling it a diet. It was a complete lifestyle change, and also obviously working with you to do that rather than being left on my own. So it was just a very, very different way of doing things, and that appealed to me that it was going to change everything and not just be a short term weight loss program.
Fantastic, yeah. So just in terms of that, what had you tried before to
Oh goodness, everything. I mean, if I go back to my teenage years, I think if you remember the cabbage soup diet, I remember trying that once, which was just awful. Um, and as with all these diets, you lose a lot of weight very quickly, and then it all goes back on again. Um, Weight Watchers was probably my next go-to, which I tried on and off over years, and then obviously Slimming World as well. Um, to varying degrees of success for a while. But again, over time, if you don't stick with it or keep going, then you just tend to put the weight back on very, very quickly and more, obviously. And as you get older, it's harder, much, much harder to lose it. Which is why a lot of the fitness side of things came in that I wanted to do just to help.
yeah, they were almost setting you up to fail before you even started.
Exactly. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it was very repetitive, and I didn't really enjoy going to the meetings very much because you were made to feel so guilty,
Hmm.
um, and no real great help there. It was all the same things over and over and over again because they're trying to tell a lot of people at the same meeting the same thing, but of course everybody's different, so
Yep.
it's not tailored for you, which is why this is different.
Very, very generic, yeah. Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, and then, so when we had our initial chat and then we talked about you joining the program, did you have any fears? Was there anything you were scared about or anything you were worried about?
I think it's the same as, whether it would be like Slimming World, whether, I would do really, really well, and then it would all just fall down. So I'd have wasted my time, I've wasted your time. Um, and I think that was the fear. Um, but actually getting into it and starting it and things that you learn along the way is so interesting. And it just starts making you think, and it becomes and will become over time just part of life. And I think that that's probably the best thing about it. But yes, it was that sort of worry that, I was going to do the same as I'd done before with Slimming World and get very excited, get all into it, and um, then stop, and think everything's going to be fine and put it all
Hmm.
back on again. But I, this is different, definitely very different.
When you said just things that you learn about along the way, can you just expand on that a little bit for me?
Um, it's a lot of realization about yourself. I mean, that sounds a bit deep, but it's not that deep, and it's stuff that you kind of know already. Um, and it's certain things that I think I think I've said to you before, I was always kind of brought up that you have to eat everything off your plate. I had to have 3 meals a day. I had to, everything was. I was always a worry if where the next bit of food came from. I had to eat everything on my plate. I always felt, especially over Christmas recently, that if I didn't have a whole load of chocolate, if I didn't, have Christmas pudding, if I didn't have this, that I would have less enjoyment out of life. And I think I've certainly learned that you can still enjoy life without having to overindulge. And you can have a little bit of something and still, and still enjoy it and still enjoy life. I don't feel now that I'm depriving myself, and that I can, that whole thing, like I can never have a drink again, I can never have a bag of crisps again. It's a load of rubbish. And I know I can. And I've lost weight while still doing that and getting through Christmas. So I think that's a big realization. Life still goes on.
Yeah, that's just awesome. And lastly, I think I know the answer to this one a little bit. What made you decide to say yes to the program? What was your tipping point?
Um, it was definitely I needed to do something. I'm not getting any younger, and it was and I really wanted to get on with it, and just make myself feel better. And it wasn't so much about really having that desperation to lose weight. I do want to lose weight. I need to lose weight. But it's just that getting fitter and healthier as I got older, and and wanting to look after myself, and and being able to enjoy, you know, life better, and to link it up with what you and I have been doing over the last few years with all the fitness. So
Hmm.
I think it just goes hand in hand, and I think that was more of it, just to make myself feel better about myself, um, rather than it being a weight loss program.
Yeah, and I couldn't have put that better. That's exactly what you've done over the
Yeah,
last 5 or 6 weeks.
yeah.
Um, what would you say was the easiest thing about getting started in the program?
I think having you there, definitely, because you have somebody who's around. I can call you if I need to. I see you at PT, obviously, anyway. And it's having that encouragement, having the support of my husband has been amazing, because he's always there to help. Doesn't Won't tell me off if I have a piece of chocolate or anything else, but will, has helped with kind of working out calories of things, and um, you know looking at different things to eat, for example. So it really is just having that support from people. And also you need to want to do it. It's
Oh,
like anything in life. You really need to want to get on with it, because otherwise, if you don't want to do it, it becomes a chore. And we've spoken about this before, that I can't have things that are a chore, like fitness. I want to enjoy it, which is why I like coming to boot camp, because it's fun. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't do it.
yeah, that's yeah, spot on. So, um, in terms of this program, what's different about this program with the things that you have tried in the past?
It's definitely the one-on-one with you, absolutely. I think, and it is specific for me. You're looking every week at what I am doing, and applying, all the things that we're kind of putting in place. You're applying that to me specifically. Um, if you had somebody on this program who was, I don't know, male in their 30s, you'd certainly be applying different calories, different ways of eating, different things to eat, different types of fitness, all that kind of stuff. Whereas it's more geared to me. I'm a female, I'm in my 50s. What I need to do is very different to other people. So I think that's really, really nice. I think it's having that one-on-one and working with somebody, who also understands the fitness side of things as well as the nutrition.
Yeah, so I'm keeping you accountable, but
Yes.
you're being very accountable yourself.
Yes, absolutely. But there's no guilt. There's no, you're not, I'm not coming on to the meetings with you every week. I'm not coming to PT with you going, oh, Lee's going to tell me off.
Hmm.
Um, you're not. And it's just, and it's a very different way than they do it at Slimming World when you stand on the
Yeah.
scales at Slimming World, it's, oh, what went wrong this week. So, and it's just that encouragement and that belief that you can change your lifestyle, but still really enjoy it at the same
Hmm.
time, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Is there what positive outcomes do you think you've seen already in the first 6 weeks of the program?
Oh, huge. I mean, it's just you have to put the legwork in at the beginning, obviously, working out kind of what you're eating. But once you do that, it's just so much easier and it's making the choices, and it's kind of going. Well, I don't need, I mean, Christmas was a big example for me, and doing this over Christmas was huge, because Christmas is a big thing in our family. And just the realization that I don't need to sit there, with my hand in the chocolate box all night. I love cheese. I could have I could have some cheese, but I didn't overdo it. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest things is that kind of that understanding of a change of lifestyle, um, is not that difficult. If I can get through Christmas, then I can get through anything. So it's it's just a really nice thought that it's really hard to put into words. It's not kind of so much of an obsession anymore of, I need to have this and I need to eat that and I don't want to miss out on this and I don't want to miss out on that. I can do all of that and actually feel as good as I feel. And the fact that I didn't put on a huge amount of weight over Christmas, put on a tiny bit, it's all now come off again and we're only a week after Christmas. So
And
that's
that's
just been
important. You,
brilliant.
you didn't feel in any way like you'd let yourself down.
No, no,
No.
not at all. Or missed out on anything. And I think that's probably more important. I don't feel like I had a terrible Christmas because I had to diet all over Christmas. It
Hmm.
wasn't true. I had a great Christmas.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And the last one then from your experiences so far, what do you think you've learned over the last 6 weeks that you're going to be able to carry forward?
Um, I think it's a lot of belief that you with actually not a huge amount of effort, you can change your lifestyle. It's not great big changes, it's very, very small changes. Um, and and also not having that mindset of that if I want to get fit or I want to lose weight, I have to do it so quickly. Um, Again, Slimming World Weight Watchers, it's kind of like you've got to lose this amount a week. Um, this is kind of, over time, give it a year. I'm going to see huge changes. Will I want to change more? Probably. If I haven't done it in a year, will I be stressed about it? No. It's going to be a very nice gradual process while still enjoying life. And I will feel fitter and healthier and can run as fast as everybody else at boot camp.
and, and without that stress and anxiety hanging over you of just,
Exactly.
I must, I must, I
Exactly.
must.
Yeah, and constantly thinking that I'm hungry or where's the next meal coming from,
Uh-huh.
or and obsessing about what you're going to eat next, probably because you're so hungry, whereas I have not been hungry.
Good. That's another key thing, and that's why
Yeah,
getting it right. If you start to feel hungry, that's when you are going to dip into the chocolate bowl and whatever. So,
exactly,
br-
exactly. Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, so now looking forwards for the next 6 weeks, what are you looking forward to for the rest of the program?
I think it's more of the same, Anna, but I think it's definitely more of it becoming much more the norm in life. It's starting to. There was definitely something that kind of clicked just before Christmas. Um, Whereas obviously the beginning of the program, it's obviously you are obviously setting, things in place to start. you know, start making it to become the norm. Um, and at some point, it will just become kind of how life is, and I will be making those right choices without having to think about it. I think that will be the key thing. I won't sit there and go, no, I can't have that because I can't have that. It would just be, I won't even think about it.
Hmm.
And and I'll be incorporating a lot more of the exercise that I've been doing. Even just more walks with the dogs, more steps. That will just become much more normal. That I'll go right. We'll go out and go for a quick walk with the dogs because it's better for me than going and sitting on the sofa for half an hour.
Yeah,
And it will and I won't have to think about it.
love that. That's brilliant. So what's your goal for the end of the program?
To
6 weeks to
keep
go.
going. I think it's to keep going. It's not. I haven't really thought about the end, to be honest. I mean, I'm lucky in a way. I do PT with you, so I will still see you,
Hmm.
which will be brilliant. But I actually, that's quite a nice thing to think about, that I haven't thought about the end of it, because it isn't an end.
Yeah.
It's going to carry on. Um, no, we won't sit down and talk about it every week, but obviously, I will still see you and I can still give you a ring. But I will know what to do just to keep it going, and to want to keep it going on my own without having somebody to tell me what to do every week.
Yes. You pretty much answered the next question as well. I was going to say you're excited for the future.
No, I am definitely, because I know I can do this now, because I, I have lost weight and I do feel a lot better already, and it's only been a few weeks. And like I've just said, I'm so proud that I got through Christmas without, it all falling apart and just going absolutely mad, and putting on half a stone, which I've been want to do before at Christmas. So
Hmm.
yeah, it is exciting, and it's a nice feeling, starting to feel a bit thinner and healthier, and yeah, it helps in every other aspect of life too.
Yeah, which is a lot of what are the work exercises are about. It's not
Yeah,
just about nutrition; it's about all areas of your life, which is
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
What if you could come away with, if you can give people one takeaway of what you've learned over these 6 weeks of the program and what we've done working together, what do you think your biggest takeaway would be?
Um, I think that it's not that hard. I think I think I think I was going into it slightly worried that it was going to be really difficult and I was going to have to change everything about my lifestyle and change the way I eat, and I won't be able to go down to the pub and have a pint anymore. And I think that's the realization that that's not true. I can do this and be a lot fitter and healthier without having to give up life.
I think on that note, that was just perfect. That's where we should end it. Thank you very, very much for your time,
No problem.
and I'll be looking forward to catching up with you in the next couple of weeks.
Will do, Lee. Thank you.
Okay, all right.